welcome to, the night before I take off for Berkshire Hathaway's annual meeting. It is about midnight here in Las Vegas, so I am doing some last minute packing. My flight takes off at 11 a.m. tomorrow. I get into Nebraska about 3 o'clock. And I am just super excited. I hear that this meeting is literally the Super Bowl of annual meetings. And I think it'll just be really, really interesting to see how our proposals, sit with the shareholders in real time.
Fourth proposal requests that the company report to shareholders on the outcome of its diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. The directors have recommended that the shareholders vote against the proposal. I will now recognize Jalen Spann, representative of Whistle Stop, to present the proposal.
Hello, I'm Jalen Spann. I'm speaking on behalf of the nonprofit advocacy organization As You Sow and Whistle Stop Capital. I formally move proposal number 5, asking for Berkshire Hathaway to report on the outcomes of their diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts by publishing quantitative data on their workforce composition and recruitment, retention, and promotion rates of employees by gender, race, and ethnicity. Warren Buffett once mentioned that he had grown up with 2 sisters who, to quote Mr. Buffett, are absolutely smart as I am and better personalities. He also bravely admitted that he only placed women on his board after his wife suggested it in 2003, 40 years after he started his company. It's one thing to know that people of all genders, races, and ethnicities can contribute to Berkshire Hathaway. It is another thing entirely to intentionally and proactively create the space, opportunity, and training needed within a company for those people to be able to contribute without facing harassment and discrimination. In the absence of data, we must instead assume that Berkshire Hathaway companies are no better nor any worse than any company in America. The statistics for American companies are unacceptable, particularly when we consider the strong link found by the Wall Street Journal, McKinsey, Credit Suisse, and others between diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and corporate outperformance. 42% of Americans have witnessed or experienced racism at work. 64% of Black employees say that discrimination is an issue in their own workplace. Many people of color are barred from entering the workplace at all. A meta-study reviewing data from 1989 to 2017 found that, on average, whites receive 24% more callbacks than Blacks and 36% more callbacks than Latinos. If we take a look at Berkshire's executive team, we can see that headquarters should be proud of the gender and racial diversity present in its leadership team. The culture that exists at Berkshire Hathaway headquarters appears to be one that recruits, hires, promotes, and retains diverse employees. Mr. Buffett stresses the importance of culture and the value that it has on the long-term success of a company. He said that culture, more than rule books, determines how an organization behaves. Investors are looking for assurances that this culture is successfully implemented within the famously decentralized Berkshire Hathaway companies as well. In order to allow their investors to understand their workplace diversity, 87 of the S&P 100 companies have released or have committed to releasing their EEO-1 form, which is a standardized government-mandated accounting of gender, race, and ethnicity breakdown by employment levels. By contrast, of the more than 60 companies Berkshire owns, only one has publicly released this form. One company. This is not the leadership that Mr. Buffett is known for. The company's inclusion data, the hiring, retention, and promotion rates of diverse employees must also be shared for investors to have a full understanding of the actual experience of not only Berkshire's employees, but of its portfolio companies' employees as well. The board has released insufficient information to assure investors that it is attentive to diversity, equity, and inclusion at Berkshire Hathaway companies. We encourage transparency, even in the face of imperfection, in order to show that the company's leaders are truly committed to change and to attracting, retaining, and promoting the best possible employees. Thank you.
And if I'd been born female, black, in various other countries, I would not have had remotely the life I've enjoyed.
So let me fill you all in on what has been happening literally since I hopped off that stage. As many conversations as I had yesterday and last night with just shareholders who voted for the proposal, and even people who just saw me speak, and people really went out of their way to let me know that this was a proposal that they thought was really important and that Berkshire should take more serious. And as you saw in all the work that they're doing, I kept mentioning you guys the entire time, and just super grateful to have gone on this trip. This is definitely like a highlight that I'll never forget.